I am going to show you how to make some serious money in your 20s. Now, growing up, we have all been told the same story or similar stories where you need to go to school, get good grades, go to a good college, get good grades, then get a job, maybe get a government job, start making money, start saving for retirement, retire around 60, and then live happily ever after. Now, that's not a bad life by any means. A lot of doing that is what allowed our parents to give us the lives that we have today. But if that is the kind of life that you want to live, then this video is probably not for you. However, if you want to make the kind of money that makes your grandchildren say that, hey, I had generational wealth or I grew up with generational wealth, then this is the video for you. And the truth is that it's completely and totally possible to achieve this kind of money, to earn this kind of money, and to become financially free in your 20s, in your 30s, whenever you're watching this video. I have spent the past few years leveling up my financial game, figuring out how to make this kind of money, how to level up financially in every aspect of my life. And everything I have learned, I'm sharing in today's video so that you guys have the same tools. You have the similar information at your disposal to be able to make the decisions that benefit you. We'll be covering everything in this video, from the skills needed, from the mindsets, the habits, the tools, and the exact blueprint that can get you well on your way to becoming financially free in the next 5 years. So this is the video that is going to help you enter your rich girl or your rich boy era. You will never get rich renting out your time. When it comes to achieving financial freedom, wealth, success, money, most rich people, most wealthy people understand something very crucial that they rarely talk about, that anybody rarely talks about, and that is having leverage. Now, this is a term that I found out in Naval Ravikant's podcast titled How to Get Rich Without Getting Lucky. It is a gold mine of information. I highly recommend you go watch that podcast after you're done watching this video, because that will put you in the right mindset for what I'm about to tell you in this video, right? So Naval Ravikant talks about something called leverage. Leverage is basically an advantage, an unfair advantage that you have that allows you to use resources beyond like the time and effort resource that everybody puts in to achieve results that get you the kind of money that you want to make. There are 4 main types of leverage that he talks about that help you break free from this typical grind where you are putting in a lot of time but you are not reaping substantial rewards, or the rewards are not proportional to the time that you're investing in this work that you're doing. So what are these 4 types of leverage? Labor, capital, code, and media. Labor leverage is basically having people working under you. So let's say that you start out as a freelance content writer. At this point in time, you are trading your time for your money. The amount of work that you do is directly proportional to the amount of income that you get paid. And there's only so much work that you can do on your own. But let's say that you get a few clients and then you hire junior writers to help fulfill the needs that are generated from these clients. Now you are using labor, which means a workforce, a task force, to make more money, to scale your business. You are paying others while earning a percentage on their work. This is what most agency models tend to do. In this case, you go one step above trading time for your money. Your time isn't directly tied to the income that you're making, but it is still substantially tied to the people who are making this money for you. The second is capital leverage. Capital in the simplest terms means money, using money itself as a leverage. So this happens when you start investing. So if a woman starts investing in her 20s, she is using capital leverage basically by putting her money to work to earn more money. This is generating returns like in stocks or in mutual funds, and it is compounding over time. So rather than that money just sitting in her savings account and her continuously having to trade time to earn that money, her money is making her money, and it's compounding and it's growing, and she doesn't have to put in extra work for that. This is the kind of leverage that we see most often in today's day and age. Most people who invest get substantial returns. Stocks, in fact, in the last 10 years has been the highest income generating or a highest return generating investment. Now the third and the fourth, which are media and your code, are permissionless forms of leverage, which means to use media, social media for example, and to use code to make money, you do not need anybody else's permission. With labor leverage, you need people to come work for you. For capital leverage, you need capital in the first place. But for media and for code leverage, you actually do not need anyone's permission. All you need is a laptop and probably a phone to get started. So things like coding, writing books, recording podcasts, creating content on social media, YouTubing, these things are permissionless. You do not need anyone's permission to do them. And that is why they put you on an equal footing with the richest people in the world, because they allow you to start from scratch and still be able to make shit tons of money and get to a point where you are in the big leagues. Now you need to understand that the ultimate type of leverage comes from creating products that do not require direct effort once they are made. So once you create a YouTube video, for example, and your channel is monetized, this video is going to continue making me money for years on end till it is on YouTube once I have made it. I have put in 30 hours of effort to make this video for you guys, but once it is made, once those 30 hours are invested, for the next 365 days, 2 years, 4 years, it is going to continue making me money. It's going to continue generating return. And this is the kind of leverage that allows me to not trade my time for money. Similarly, if I go ahead and create an online course, like a lot of YouTubers have done in the past, right? Ali Abdal, Ankur Warikoo, once they have created this course, it can be sold repeatedly on autopilot just by running ads without investing any additional effort into it. This again is a great form of leverage. So what the rich basically understand is that you need to figure out how to not trade your time for money, how to not have your returns tied to the time that you're investing, and how to do it at scale. And when it comes to increasing this kind of leverage, a great tool to use is Odoo, who are also kindly sponsoring today's video. Now, Odoo is an all-in-one business management software. It has a suite of more than 70 business management apps, which include invoicing, accounting, project management, inventory, website builder, e-commerce builder, all of that. For instance, if you decide to start your freelancing journey today, you can manage all your clients on Odoo. You can create invoices on Odoo. If you start an online business today, which is again a permission form of leverage, you can use their e-commerce builder app to manage your online sales. The list is endless. Basically, using a tool like this to automate repetitive and time-consuming tasks allows you to focus your energy on higher level strategy and growth tasks. It is the perfect example of permissionless leverage, using code and media to make more money, using technology to leverage to gain more freedom in your business and in your life. And if you have only one specific need, you can actually use Odoo's first app for free for lifetime with unlimited hosting and support. You also get a free custom domain for your website and e-commerce for a year. More details and the link are going to be in the description. Tools like this allow you to scale your revenue, to scale your income without trading your time for your money, just like the rich don't do this, and using technology to scale your operations. Again, I am going to be quoting some things that Naval said in his podcast to make things easier for you, but you must go and listen to that podcast. You are more likely to become rich when you have skills that society does not know how to train other people to do. If someone can train other people to do something, that means they can replace you. You are replaceable. If you are replaceable, then you are not going to get paid a lot, which is why for most jobs, for most entry-level jobs, for most mid-level jobs, the pays are very standard. That is why you are not getting a return on the effort that you're investing, because you are replaceable. To be able to make you money, you want to learn how to do something that other people don't know how to do at a time when that skill is in demand. For example, 3-4 years ago, data analytics was in high demand. Anybody who knew how to do it well, I know people who have made some serious cash by analyzing data. It's still in demand, it's still very much in demand, but the competition has increased. Similarly, today, content creation is a skill that is very much in demand. It's a permissionless form of leverage. It allows you to capture people's attention. It allows you to build distribution. Distribution is something that every brand on earth wants. If you have distribution, brands come to you automatically. You get rewarded by society, or you get paid more for doing something when you give society what it wants but does not know how to get elsewhere. So you basically want to figure out what product, what service, what information society is lacking, where there is a gap in the market, and then you want to become the person who fills that gap, who delivers on that promise and does it at scale. That is how you make money. So what are the skills that can help you reach this goal to become this person who figures out what the market demands? The first is your set of high income skills that I think in today's day and age are extremely crucial. These allow you to make more money than a regular job ever would, and if you have these skills, they would also allow you to make more money on your job, right? The first is writing. Copywriting specifically, because writing is everywhere. The online world, the offline world, everything exists because of writing as a form of communication. Everything from the text message you sent to the email that you word, to the content of the script that I write for this video, to the blog posts that you read, anything you're reading on Instagram, anything you're watching online, any movie, any video, any music video, everything, the basis of everything is writing. The second is communication. Public communication, more specifically, mass communication, more specifically, where you can communicate your thoughts, ideas, feelings, emotions, anything that you want to say to the masses. That is an insane form of leverage. This is the very reason that content creators get paid the kind of money that they do. The third is, of course, coding. Everything that exists online is a form of code. Somebody has made that code, now they're making a shit ton of money. Content creation is another skill. Now, content creation is not just communication. Communication is a part of content creation, but content creation is a host or a suite of skills that make you very valuable because they allow you to build distribution, whether for yourself, whether for a brand. If you can nail this, if you know how to do this well, you can make a lot of money. Then there is UI UX design, because everything exists online. User experience is really important. User experience determines whether a sale is going to happen or not. Again, very important skill. Data analytics, like we just discussed, and sales and marketing. If you know how to sell yourself, your skills, brands, products, services, you are never going to go broke. In fact, you're going to make a lot of money. In fact, sales are some of the highest paid jobs in the world. Similarly, for marketing, because there are so many products, goods, services, companies, marketing is always a skill that is going to be in high demand. This is by no means an exhaustive list. There are more skills out there that are very important, that can help you scale businesses, that can help you grow businesses, create businesses. These are the ones that I found during my research and in my experience that pay you the most money or that get you the most bang for your buck, and you can do all of these while sitting at home. So what you want to do once you understand which skill it is that you want to build, you want to focus on picking one skill that allows you to build multiple skills at once. For example, creating videos for YouTube allows you to build the skill of research, writing, audience behavior recognition, filming, editing, strategy, and so much more all together. If you end up doing this for a year, by the end of it, you hone 6 different skill sets and you become extremely good at all of those skill sets. So the best way to build skills is to learn the basics. You can use platforms like Coursera, Udemy, YouTube. Spend a few days, a week, 10 days, whatever, learning the basics of any skill that you choose from this list. The next thing you're going to do is start freelancing in that skill immediately. Do not leave gap, do not leave time, do not leave money on the table, because time is money on the table. Pick a platform like Upwork, Freelancer, Fiverr, pitch your services and start there. Now, this is not immediately going to make you insane amounts of money, but what this does is allows you to figure out, 1, what are the skills that are the most in demand in the market. 2, it allows you to make money from that skill while you are still learning that skill. And 3, it makes you good at learning the skills of sales and marketing your own self, so that when you go ahead and pitch yourself or freelance or get a job in a higher paying domain, you know how to put your best foot forward. This is exactly how I learned how to do video editing. I got the software, I went on YouTube, I figured out how to do the basics of video editing. I edited 5-7 videos for myself, my Instagram, and then I signed up as a freelancer on Upwork, and I started by making 2,500 rupees per video that I edited. I was editing for somebody else's YouTube. But in just 6 months of doing that, I figured out the ins and outs of editing. I knew how to pace videos. I knew how to film and edit good videos. I knew where to get all of the resources. And I knew that this is not what I want to do with my time. That's how I figured it out. Because, while it is a valuable skill, I realized that I wanted to create content. That is where my passion lay, and I did not just want to edit videos. And once you've done this for one skill set, chances are that you've built multiple skills along the way. You want to stack your skills, right? So once I learned video editing, I also went ahead and learned scripting. I learned how to film, and then I started my content creation career. Now I do this for myself, I do this for brands, I also consult on this. You see how those skills stack up, and that allows me to make a lot more money if I was just to stick to doing this one thing. The second set of skills you want to build are the ones that allow you to showcase your work. When you build these high income skills, when you start earning some amount of money, you will realize that it's not just enough to be skilled, you also need to know how to showcase those skills to people so that you can actually make money. I highly recommend you read this book by Austin Kleon called Show Your Work to understand this concept better, because you can keep working in oblivion. That is what happens with most people who are doing 9 to 5s, right? They keep working their asses off, they're grinding, but nobody knows about it because they don't go outside of their circle, they don't go outside of their ambit and show their work. Right? Most people don't even show their bosses how well they are or how good they are at their work, right? And that means that somebody else instead of you is going to get the promotion. You need to let your work do the talking, but you also need to be your biggest champion. You need to showcase how well you can work. And the best way to do that is to build a personal portfolio, which means everything that you do should be documented, whether it is online on a website or a Notion document. I highly recommend doing a website though, even if it is a one-page website that just documents everything that you've been a part of, every project you've worked on, what you have done specifically, and how you changed the game or how you changed the result for that particular project. Creating this personal portfolio is going to be a game changer because one, it'll show you your progress, it'll show you how much further you have come in life, but it's also going to be a great asset to showcase your work to other people so that you are able to create a sense of trust and authority for your work in your clients, in your audience's mind, right? So once you've started building your skills, once you've started doing some professional work, the next thing I want you to go ahead and do is create some sort of web presence. Go create a one-page website that you regularly update with your work. This is your professional CV. Again, this is something you can do on Odoo. You can build a professional portfolio website. It is super simple to set up. You can actually showcase all of your work and use it as an ongoing portfolio. And simultaneously, you want to create a social media presence on any particular platform that you feel comfortable starting out with. It could be LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, whatever works. LinkedIn is the most highest leverage one, especially in the work area, because that is where the money exists. That is where the most money-making people exist. But Instagram, YouTube are great as well. They have a bit of a longer learning curve, but if you can nail that, if you can figure out how to do it, you are golden. The next set of skills that you need to build are negotiation skills. And these play a very, very important role in your financial success, learning how to negotiate. Whether it's negotiating salary for a job, whether it's negotiating fee for a freelancing gig or a brand deal, knowing how to ask what you're worth is absolutely crucial. Most people undersell themselves because they do not know how to negotiate. If you don't ask for what you think you are worth, you are not going to get paid what you deserve. Again, go back and listen to the Naval Ravikant podcast, and he tells you that he set an hourly rate for himself, which was like $5,000 an hour. And he worked till he basically reached that rate. And that is what allowed him to make the kind of money that got him to a place where he is now today completely financially free. I'm linking a few courses below in the description, which are also going to teach you the art of negotiation. If you want, we can also make a video on this. But to help you get started right now, a few courses are linked down below. You can get started with these today. The next set of skills that you need to build are your financial literacy skills. No matter how much you earn, if you do not know how to manage your money, you will never be financially free. And that, sadly, is the truth. Now, sadly, schools, colleges do not teach us this, and that ultimately leads to very poor financial decisions. This is the reason that most people are in debt. This is the reason that most people don't know how to save and to invest. And that is why you need to focus on building your financial literacy before you even start making money. Learn the basics of budgeting, saving, investing, and managing debt. I highly recommend you read this book called The Financial Feminist by Tori Dunlap. It is such a beautiful, such a simple breakdown on how to get started with your financial journey. Of all the finance books that I have read, this one is my favorite, and I also made a dedicated video where I have covered everything you need to get started with your financial planning journey. So make sure you check that out next. The next set of skills that you need to build are time management skills. skills. Because like we have established in the beginning of the video, you cannot get rich by trading your time for money. You need to understand where to put your time, and you need to understand how to maximize your time in doing things that actually move the needle. To be able to build multiple sources of revenue, to be able to do things that you enjoy, to be able to make money without going crazy, you need to know how to manage your time. In the last video, we have covered a little bit of a section on how to manage your time well, how to be productive without going insane. So make sure you check that video out. But if you want a dedicated video on time management, that's also something we can look at doing. And finally, for the last portion of this section of the video, the skills that often get overlooked when it comes to building your wealth. And that is your networking skill. And by networking, I do not mean going to fancy events and talking up to people and attending these parties. That is not what networking is about. Networking is about learning how to work with people, how to read people, how to understand people, how to make them understand you, how to connect with them so that you can have a mutually beneficial symbiotic relationship. You've probably heard the saying, your network is your net worth, and that is absolutely true. Most times in life, it does not matter what you know, it matters who you know. So when you surround yourself with the right people, with ambitious, growth-oriented individuals, you are more likely to be in rooms where you get more opportunities, you are more likely to learn new strategies, you're more likely to get fresh ideas, and you're more likely to stay on this path of wealth creation. For example, let's take two people, right? There's person A who continuously hangs out with his school friends who have now become, sort of alcoholics. They're into drugs, recreational drugs probably. They go for their jobs, they come back, they bitch about their lives, they have a drink or two and they go back to sleep, and then when they wake up in the morning, it's the same routine again and again. So if this person A is continuously in their company, how do you think his life is going to turn out? Probably very similar to the way his friends' lives turn out, right? This is the reason why most people in your society, most people in your circle achieve similar levels of success. Whereas there is person B who makes it a point to put herself in unfamiliar situations, to put herself in areas where rich people, where wealthy people exist, to reach out to such people online, to talk to them, to interact with them. How do you think her life's going to turn out, right? She's probably going to end up learning more about wealth creation than person A is. So go ahead, put yourself out there, reach out, ask questions, and do good work. Nothing builds your network like good work. And I tell you this from experience. Every single person who is a part of my network, every single founder that I know, every single rich individual that I know, every single wealthy individual I know, content creator I know, is somebody I have gotten to know because of the work that I put out there. And because I showcase my work, they are able to see my work, and that is why they know me. I am able to get inroads with them and talk to them and hang out with them. Very, very important to show your work, guys. Yes, your skills and your tools are absolutely important. Yes, leverage is absolutely important. But where most people get stuck is that they are not able to get out of their own heads to actually go ahead and do those things. Without the right mindset, you are just not able to earn the amount of money that you want to. And even if you do end up earning that money, it will not give you the freedom that you deserve because you are not free from the shackles of your mind. So what do? Focus on these few different mindset shifts and habits. First, start seeing money as a tool, not a goal. Most people think that the end goal is to just have a lot of money in their bank account, and that is what it means to be rich. But that could not be further from the truth. What are you going to do with money in your bank? What most people actually want is the freedom that money buys, right? This makes money a tool, not the ultimate goal. When you start to treat money as a tool, whatever you earn in the process becomes the choices and the opportunities that you give yourself for a better life. For example, let's say that you are somebody who loves to travel. If you are very hell-bent on having, a big bank balance and earning a lot of money so that your bank balance looks big, one, that is going to be a tax nightmare. Two, you are always going to be stressed about spending that money. You're always going to be fearful. You are going to want to just keep that money in your account. But if you see money as a tool, you realize that earning that money that you've made, has given you the freedom to explore new places. It has given you the freedom to learn new skills. It has given you the freedom to make your life easier. It's there to give you a choice and to create new experiences rather than just make you somebody who's sitting on a huge cash pile. Second thing you want to focus on is overcoming your limiting beliefs. Now, I read this somewhere, and if I'll find the study, I'll put the screenshot here as well, that your beliefs about money get cemented by the time you reach the age of 8 or 9 in your life. And for Indians, for us middle class Indians especially, that means that a lot of the beliefs we have about money are very, very restrictive, right? Money is always to be saved. Money is never to be spent. You cannot make more money, which is why it's better to have a secure job rather than to risk and go ahead and try and do a business or put yourself out there, especially for women, right? Women are also told that they don't need to earn because their husbands and their families will take care of them. And for women who are earning, they still have to bear the burden of household chores. They still have to be responsible for everything in the house in addition to earning. So that puts a lot of pressure on them. And all of this basically cements what you think about money, how you treat money, whether you treat it as a tool, whether you really want money, whether you're afraid of spending money, whether you're afraid of money itself. I know that I grew up in a household which was very, very restricted on spending money, right? So I grew up with this mindset that when I start making my own money, I'm going to spend it all. And that resulted in me spending the first 5 years of my career spending absolutely everything I made. I'd had zero savings, I had zero investments. I just thought that I'll keep working this 9 to 5 thing and I'll keep making money and I'll keep spending money. But guess what? There came a point, COVID came. I realized that I had no eggs nest, I had no savings, and it was the worst period of my life. Absolutely no money, absolutely broke. And that is when I started working on my mindset, on my financial mindset, on improving, on understanding how to get into the big leagues, how to make the kind of money that I really wanted to make, how to be financially free. So the 2 books that I'm going to recommend you read here are, one, Psychology of Money, absolutely banger book, talks about the psychology behind money and your beliefs around money. And 2 is Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. Absolutely, absolutely transformed how I think about money, how I think about making money, and I highly, highly recommend you read that. The next mindset you need to focus on building is delayed gratification and long-term thinking, which I think is a mindset block that is very, very evident in today's day and age, right? We are always on the internet. We are seeing so many other people younger than us, so much younger than us, achieve great amounts of success. There's always this trap of comparison. And so we always want instant results. We want to put in the effort now and we want that effort to pay off immediately. We want things quick and easy. But you need to understand that anything worthwhile in life, including building wealth, is a long-term game. It takes time, it takes patience, because it comes out, it becomes relevant due to the process of compounding. None of the world's richest individuals made money easy or fast. Everybody who you think is an overnight success has actually been a person maybe 10 years in the making or 5 years in the making. It took them a lot of time to get to the point where they are today. When you start looking at everything, including wealth building, including becoming rich, from the lens of delayed gratification and long-term thinking, you understand the concept of trade-offs. You understand what you need to trade off right now, what sacrifices you need to make in the present to be able to get to this point in the future. And that is extremely, extremely important. Once you understand the process of compounding, once you understand the magic of compounding, it becomes very, very easy to think in years instead of days, instead of weeks, instead of months. If you want to build wealth, if you want to build the kind of money that your future generation considers generational wealth, you need to think exactly like this, which is very, very impatient when it comes to putting in the efforts, but very, very patient when it comes to generating results. I love this philosophy, honestly. Let me explain this to you with an example, right? Suppose you just got your job, it's a well-paying job, you're making 2 lakhs a month, and for the first salary that you earn, you want to buy a new iPhone, even though your old phone is working really well. Or maybe you want to buy a designer bag because you've now started earning more and you want to show off that wealth. This is a classic example of lifestyle inflation, by the way. And when you spend that, you've spent it, you've bought that thing. Well, it'll make you happy for a while, but is it money really well spent? Is it easing your life in any way? Is it helping you move forward in life in any way? Is that designer bag enhancing your skill set? Is it helping you move ahead in your career? If not, it's probably a liability and not an investment, right? On the other hand, if you went ahead and invested that money, it would compound, it would grow, it would make you more money, and then 2 years, 3 years down the line, you can probably buy 3 different designer handbags. Now, spending on things that you want, your desires, your dreams, is absolutely important. That's what we are earning in part for. But most of us fall victim to something called lifestyle inflation, which is our expenses go up in proportion to our income. So today, if you're making 50,000 rupees a month, you are spending according to earning 50,000 rupees a month. But tomorrow, when your income becomes 1 lakh, you will start spending more money. In reality, what should happen is when your income goes up, after a point, after you have reached a space where you are very comfortable in your life, you have the things that you require, and you are living a comfortable life with the income that you've earned, after that point, all the extra money that you earn, instead of spending it on frivolous things, if you put it in investments, if you invest it, if you understand how to make more money using that money, if you use it to buy time, if you use it to buy your freedom, that is a good investment. That is what actually helps you build wealth. That is what helps you grow, become rich, become wealthy, and eventually beat, 99% of the people along the way. Now, that was about the mindsets. Alongside the mindset, you also need to work on building 2 separate skill sets that I think are very, very important. One is learning how to build multiple streams of income. Right? So you have started working by utilizing a high income skill, you are showcasing it to the world, you have started making some money. What's next? The next step is to start using the money you earn from this particular skill, from this particular job, whatever you are doing at the moment, to increase the number of sources that give you revenue. This is what will help you stop trading your time for money. You could start freelancing more, you could start an online store, you could start affiliate marketing. You must have heard the phrase that millionaires, billionaires have at least 7 streams of income. Why do they do that, right? Warren Buffett would probably be earning a lot from one single source. Why does he need 7 sources of income? The reason for this, one, it diversifies your portfolio. You never put too many eggs in one basket. 2, like I said, it allows you to stop trading your time for money. So today, if you lose your job, you know that you have 6 other income sources to rely on. You know that you can safely quit your job and start to focus on any one source of income to pick you back up. And that is exactly the freedom that we are working towards when we say we want to become financially free. Again, Odoo can help you here. For instance, if you are someone with a job but you want to set up an online business, you can use Odoo's e-commerce builder to do that. Set up your online store, and with Razorpay payment and ShipRocket shipping integration, you can start building your product catalog and selling your stuff very, very easily. I have said it before and I'll say it again, use internet tools to your advantage to outsource your work, to automate your work, because time is money. And when you get back your time, you have that time to spend on things you really enjoy doing. And that is the freedom that money buys you. And the next skill you need to build is investing over just saving. Now, most of us have grown up with the mindset that whatever money we are making, we need to save a substantial chunk of it. And that's important. Saving is an important habit to build. But just saving is not enough, because saving does not help you beat out the cost of inflation. The prices of goods and services keep increasing every year. That happens because of inflation. And your salary, your income does not increase in the same proportion every single year, right? Especially if you're a salaried person, it's not increasing in the same proportion. And that means that every year, goods and services start to become more expensive for you. Cost of living becomes more expensive for you. How do you beat that cost of inflation? You do that by investing well. You do that by investing in instruments that, 1, allow you to save tax, and 2, allow you to get returns that are higher than the rate of inflation. So how do you start investing? Today it is easier than ever. All you need is a mobile phone, some amount of money in your bank account, and then you can sign up to any one of the multiple platforms that are out there for investing, right? Grow, Upstocks, Zerodha, IND Money. And what they basically do is they open a demat account for you, they put you on the market, and when you put money in them, that goes into your instrument of choice. Now, if you are just starting out, I would recommend starting with mutual funds because they are slightly safer than going all out in stocks, and they allow you to get a sense of the market. They teach you what the market is all about, and then once you're comfortable investing in mutual funds, you move up to stocks. And that's how I did it. I felt very comfortable doing it, and now I am fairly comfortable knowing my way around the investing world, right? Somebody also asked me how to do tax saving investments. There are a couple of different tax saving instruments that you can invest in. So the first, of course, is life insurance. So up to a certain cap, whatever income you put in your life insurance fund, that becomes tax free. You don't have to pay tax on it. But the problem with life insurance, it's not linked to the market. That means that it does not give you as high rate of returns, but life insurance purpose is not rate of returns. It's one, tax saving, and two, have money for your family in case something happens to you, but you also end up getting lump sum on maturity if you are not dead by then. The other one is, of course, several pension plans like PPF funds, EPF funds. These are government-backed funds that you can invest in. They often have a very long lock-in period, like 10-15 years. But yes, investing a small amount of money in them is really beneficial. You can also invest in tax-saving mutual funds, where you just put in money and up to a certain amount is absolutely tax-free when you get the returns on it. So where you invest money and the money that you're putting in it for that year is tax-free. There's also health insurance. When you put money in health insurance, that is tax-free. There are apparently also tax-saving fixed deposits that you can try. Again, you can go to your bank's website and they will have all of the instruments linked down there. But doing that is not the only way to invest. Like, yes, you should invest whatever, because there's this section in your tax form called 80C, under which you have all of these tax saving instruments, but it has a cap. I think 1,50,000 in a year is the cap. Beyond that, even if you're saving in a tax saving instrument, it's not helping you save tax. So your aim should be to invest this money, invest it in the long term, because you don't pay taxes on your investments unless you take out those investments. You invest for the long term, and you invest in instruments that allow you to make more money. The rate of return is higher than the rate of inflation and higher than the amount of tax that you're paying in that year. And investing is the only way that your money is going to compound. So putting it in a savings account, yes, sure, some amount of money is required in your emergency bank saving account, but putting it just there and parking it there is not the solution. You need to learn how to invest. I already made the beginner financial planning video. We can do a complete video on investments, but this one was more about financial freedom, so that is going to be a separate video. Now that we've spoken about all of this, I want to touch upon one thing I think that's very, very important, especially in the Indian context. In India, it does not come without challenges. It's not like every woman has the privilege to wake up, to start making money and to start investing and have control over her money. So that makes it slightly more difficult for both men and women, but more for women in this country to be able to become financially free, to become financially independent, which is why you also need to continuously work that angle. You need to know what those barriers are and you need to work at them continuously. The biggest barrier is gender pay gap. It's not just in India, it's an issue worldwide, with women earning less than their male counterparts in most industries, right? It's not true for all industries, but for most industries. And in India, I think the statistics are about 18% less than men on average, and that slows down your journey to financial freedom. So how do you combat this? One is research, right? Knowing what a particular job title pays, what a particular freelancing gig pays. Talk to as many people as you can. A lot of people are not open about their salaries, but some will be. You need to do your market research before you start understanding what your worth is. Don't just talk to one person and be done with it, right? And especially if you're a woman, talk to men and figure out how much they're making. If they're making more than you for the same role, if they're making more than you for the same gig, they have the unfair advantage, and you can always voice your concerns. And this is how I ended up increasing my salary at a job that I was previously at, when I found out that my male counterpart was being paid more money than me for the exact same role. Another thing you need to learn is how to negotiate confidently. Most women are uncomfortable. Most people are uncomfortable, women more so. And we've already spoken about how important negotiating is as a skill in making more money, in getting what you deserve. If you don't know how to negotiate, you're never going to get paid what you're worth. And the next thing you want to do is focus on performance-based pays or performance based incentives that are basically tied to the output that you provide, right? So when you're negotiating your salary, if you are doing this at a job, if you're negotiating your freelance rate, negotiate it based on the output that you can provide for that client, for that organization. If you get the output, you get the money. And that allows you to make a fair income. And I'm also going to go ahead and say this, figure out an hourly rate for yourself. I know that this kind of thing doesn't work in India. It doesn't have to, but do your research, figure out how much 1 hour of your time is worth, right? What this allows you to do is basically figure out how much money you should be making in a day or a week or a month. And that is the rate that you should start negotiating at. It takes some time to get comfortable with it. It takes some time to reach a point where people will be willing to pay you that amount of money. But if you have results to back your claims, you are going to get there eventually. And the final thing you want to focus on is improving your financial literacy. One of the reasons that women stay behind, they're not able to make as much money, they're not able to get out of their family, the clutches, if you know, familial structures, is because they are not literate enough when it comes to financial matters. Educate yourself about your finances, about other people's finances, about how money is made, about how the economy works. Macro and micro economics you have to study. That is super, super important. Girls, you have to understand that making money is the only true form of gaining independence, especially in a society like India. आपको ये शायद सुनने में अच्छा नहीं लगेगा, but that is the only way that you can advocate for yourself, get out of the clutches of a toxic family if you're in one. Do not stop working on your financial literacy. Do not stop working on your skills. Improve them continuously, and do not give up on your career for the sake of anyone. Do not give up on your job for the sake of anyone, whether it's your family, whether it's your husband, whether it's your boyfriend, whether it's your kid. And I mean this in the nicest way possible, because the moment you do that, you give up agency. You give up control of your own life. The moment you're financially dependent on somebody else, you give up a lot of control of your own life. You do not have control over the decisions that you make anymore. I know that this is a video about, you know, becoming financially free, but if you're not making money, if you are not earning, how can you become financially free? So every woman watching this, by the age of 25, if you're older, then whatever the next 5-year milestone is for you, in the next 5 years, you need to focus on building a revenue stream that allows you to be independent of your family. Even if you have the best family in the world, you need to focus on building a revenue stream that allows you to go and be independent of your family, so that you can take your own decisions. You have agency. You can tomorrow pick up your bags and go do what you want to. Extremely important. Have these conversations, set boundaries with your parents, set them repeatedly. And if that doesn't happen, if it doesn't pan out the way that you expected, you can always move forward and do something on your own if you have the finances, if you have the money to do so. And in this video, I've already discussed the skills, the tools, and the mindsets to do that. Use that in the next 5 years, build yourself up to a point where you are making enough money that you can go ahead and live independently if needed. If not, that's absolutely great. But do not stop making money for whoever, whatever reason. Everyone, and I mean everyone, will come around once you have enough agency, once you have control over your own life. Even if today they don't listen to you, once you're making enough money, they will come around. The first thing you're going to do is choose a skill and commit to it, right? Acquiring a high income skill, commit to it for the next year. Start freelancing in that skill in the next year, right? Even if you're making small amounts of money, you want to build that skill up. So in the next year, you're going to focus on one skill that allows you to build multiple skills alongside it. Start freelancing in it and start making some amount of money with it. Once you master the skill in a few months, you are going to start charging more for your freelancing services, right? Initially, it can look frustrating, especially when the results are slow. But trust me, with time, you're going to get there. The second thing you're going to do is create a main source of income, whether it's a job, whether it's a business. Even if it's just your freelancing gig, you're going to figure out what is your main source of revenue in the next year, whatever fits your situation. This is going to be your safety net. This is the thing that is going to help you sustain yourself, manage your expenses, and at the same time, continue building leverage, continue building that high income skill. It could also be a job in the same skill set if that's what works for you, but you need one main source of revenue that is dependable, that is more dependable than just going ahead and searching for new clients every single month, right? The goal here is to establish a stable income stream. And it does not have to be massive right away. You want something that gives you a stable income source, but also leaves you enough time for you to be able to build multiple sources of revenue. So after you have started monetizing your skill and you've built a primary revenue source, the next thing you're going to focus on is building passive income stream, right? So investment is the first no-brainer one. As soon as you start making money, you have to start investing money so that your money is making you money. That's your first passive revenue stream. The second is you wanting to figure out a way to scale your skills, right? So let's say writing is your skill. How can you scale it? You can maybe create digital products. You can probably create online courses, sell them on platforms like Udemy, Coursera, even YouTube. I am not getting into the details of this because this will require additional research on your part depending on what your skill is. But I'll give you an example of what my skill was, right? So I started with the writing, making videos as my two core skills. I monetized these first by freelancing, then I got jobs in these. Once I was making enough money from my job, I started content creation online. Now, when I started content creation, I am getting simultaneously paid, like my main source of revenue is my freelancing gigs. The other source of income is brand deals that happen because of the content that we're creating, like this video sponsored by Odoo. The third is the ad revenue on these videos that I make on YouTube. So today I've spent 2 hours recording this video, but once I upload this, whatever duration of content, it is going to make me money for years on end. Once I put this video out, it is going to continue making me money for however long this video is going to be on YouTube. My fourth revenue stream is going to be the investments that I make. So that is how you continue to build multiple streams of revenue. Tomorrow, if I launch a digital product, that is going to be my fifth revenue stream. If I launch a course, that's going to be my sixth revenue stream. So this is how you sort of get into the zone of building multiple revenue streams. And all of these that I build from the content that I've created are passive revenue streams, right? I do them once and then they continue making me money for years on end. The next thing you're going to do simultaneously alongside investing is to create an emergency fund. Again, I've spoken about this in the beginner in financial planning video. So make sure you go check that out. Investing, we have already spoken about. Finally, you're going to focus on scaling your revenue sources. So once you've figured out how to make money from a skill, you need to figure out how to scale it and how you need to turn it into a passive revenue source. Simultaneously, you're investing. Simultaneously, you are saving for retirement, right? Whatever age you want to retire at, that is the amount of money that you need to start saving. And of course, you need to continue working on your money mindset, because your mindset will determine whether you recognize certain opportunities or not, whether you see certain things as opportunities or not, and whether you're able to even figure out if something is coming along your way. If your mindset is not right, you are going to be leaving money on the table, which is why it's so important to continuously work on it, despite whatever feedback you might be receiving from your immediate environment. And finally, you want to create a goal and a plan, revenue goals for every single month, every single year, so that you know what you are working towards, and a plan to basically see whether you are sticking to your goals, where you are, how far off you are, and what you need to do to close that gap. So you can do a 6-monthly assessment, a yearly assessment, and similarly you can do 6-month goals and yearly goals to reach your revenue targets, to reach the financial goal that you have set for yourself. So there you have it, the complete blueprint to becoming financially free in your 20s. If you start now, like right now after watching this video, in the next 5 years, I promise you, you will have the freedom to live your life exactly how you want. It all starts with these steps. If you start taking consistent action, the way that your money, the way that your skills, the way that your life will compound is going to be mind-blowing. So go ahead, sit down, absorb whatever I've told you in this video, start taking action on it from today itself, and let me know in the comments which is the first financial goal that you are going to work towards. And make sure you check out this video next, because YouTube says you are going to love it, and I'm going to see you guys very, very soon in the next one. Bye.